Everybody. Good morning, wherever you're joining me from. It could be Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. I'm on all the channels this morning going through Restream, and I wanted to talk about what makes a speech memorable. Just have a couple minutes. My name is Lisa Dublin. I teach people how to speak with confidence. That's what I do. And I do have an upcoming program on from the 2nd of June to the 7th of July. It's a virtual program, 6 weeks in the making, and in the doing, basically. And so we meet like twice a week, and it is an amazing program. I want to tell you about it today. But before we do that, let me talk about how do you make a speech memorable? And when I was thinking about the topic, it occurred to me that a memorable speech or speaking in a memorable fashion, it works from the boardroom to you talking to students to you having, conversations with small groups of people. You don't just want to speak. Has anybody ever had this happen to them? Like you go to church on a Sunday or Saturday and it's like, yeah, that was a great speech, but did you quite remember what was said? Why didn't you remember? I think we all have a responsibility if you're going to be having a platform. You want to put forward your very best. And you want to present a message in whatever form that people will resonate with and will remember. My earliest example of remembering a speech goes all the way back to when I was about, I think, 12 or 13. And I remember my class having to go to the Catholic Church at the time. And we were addressed by a Jesuit priest. I think that's what he called them. But what do I remember about what he said? Just imagine, sitting in this large cathedral, large church, and in the front and in the altar, there's this man, tall man with a mic, dressed all in brown. He has a string thing around his waist. And what I remember about this man is his hand raised, and, the sleeves were very large and falling back on his arm, and saying to us with all the passion available, I don't care what you do, just keep your dream alive. And he repeated it, keep your dream alive. And I mean, if you weren't listening at that time, you would be listening by the time he was halfway through that part of his delivery because it was so heartfelt. He said it with such conviction, everything. How he presented it, his body language, even I think what he was wearing actually helped to bring the message across. And I'm now in my late 40s. Hi, Sarafina. And here I am remembering this man from way back when I was 13 or 12 saying to me, keep the dream alive. And so when I think about the ways that you can make your speech memorable or your delivery memorable, the very first thing is to put emotion into it. When I work with clients, I always start from the point of view of what do you think about your topic? Now, of course, even in presenting a topic, you need to do research and you need to find out what other people are saying. But at the end of the day, in the final analysis, what you're going to be presenting is something that you should ultimately believe. What do you believe to be true about your topic? And so, for example, let's say I want to tell you about my Speak with Confidence program. I could not use any emotion. I could just come very matter of factly and say to you, well, you know, I have this program called Speak with Confidence. It's been running for about a year and a half. And, I've trained 40 something people in how to speak with confidence. And they've done well. They've gone on to make that confidence spill into other areas of their lives. They've learned to be more mindful speakers, to, listen to what the audience wants, to give and to answer the question, what's in it for me, etc. Oh, that is my first volley. Oh, I could put emotion into it because I really believe this program has changed lives. And I could tell you something like, hey, I have this amazing program called Speak with Confidence, and it runs for 6 weeks. And what I love about the program is the way that it takes people from where they are to higher levels of confidence in whatever their field and whatever they do. They get higher levels of confidence. They are able to express themselves better. There's more freedom in the things that they can do and say. And I think what it does for them is to know that whoever you are, and whatever you look like or however you sound, what you have to say is important. And there are people out there who want to hear what you have to say. So they leave with that understanding and they go on to employ it in different areas of their lives. That's why I think this program is so amazing and I think you should sign up. Put emotion into it. You want to make your speech memorable, you want people to remember you and the message. Make sure you believe what you have to say and that you put emotion into it. And emotion doesn't just mean going from being soft to being loud. Emotion doesn't mean that you have to change your entire style for you to become somebody else when you present or when you speak. It really does mean that from the depth of your being and your understanding and belief in what you say, there arises a certain way that you present. And that's what we teach in the program. The second thing that you need to do if you want to become a memorable speaker, I love this one. Use illustrations and use stories. I am pretty sure if you don't remember me, you will remember the Jesuit priest that I just spoke about, who was saying about keep the dream alive because I helped you to see him. You probably saw him with the mic. You saw the sleeve falling back. You saw his hand raised. You saw that emotion or felt or heard him saying to us, imploring us to keep the dream alive. A memorable speaker does that, employs illustrations and stories to, bring the message across. Some of my most memorable stories, since we're talking about being memorable, some of the most endearing illustrations that I have from even from the Speak with Confidence program was one time a client came in, a student. She didn't like to hear herself speak. There are lots of people like that. Okay. I've had a guy say to me, I don't like to hear myself because I sound like I have hot bread in my mouth. Like, doesn't want to hear himself. How do you work with somebody like that? This client of mine was in a managerial position, so she needed to love to hear herself to speak, right? She needed to be comfortable um presenting to people, addressing people, handling an audience, that kind of thing. And so what we did, because built into the program, we do have weekly coaching sessions with me. And so we deal with all of those personal issues that people have. And so she and I had to go over the 6 weeks through the process of this is who you are, replays of her videos, and learning to be comfortable. Hey, this is you. Yeah, this is how you were made. This is your voice, and it's okay. And sometimes what I realize is I think it's just a matter of not having taken the time and having done it with a professional who can give you some, critical feedback. And at the end of, I think, our fourth session, because it's a 6 week program, we went through hearing yourself, and she cringed a little. The next week, it was a little less. By the fourth session with her, she was comfortable hearing her voice. And I won't forget the time, like, she just sat back and there was quiet in the coaching, just silence. And that's okay. Silence is okay. And she was like, huh, it's okay. No, I'm really okay. And of course, we went through some of the areas where she could improve. Basically, like if you speak from your belly, basically, your voice is a lot richer than if you just speak from the top of your diaphragm. And that moment just brought me to tears because when a client realizes that who I am is okay enough for me to deliver a message, is the point at which the power and the confidence just kicks in. And that is absolutely lovely. So that is one way that you can. I use an illustration to bring in the whole point of why this program works. When you speak, and if you want to be memorable, use examples. Bring your examples alive by using verbs that are, instead of saying she said, she screamed, little things like that you can do to bring your message across. Illustrations always work because I'm not sure why. I am a performance poet and a writer, and so you learn that human beings are just very interested in stories. I am not sure why, but why is it every single person, once you hear once upon a time or there was a time when, something in you is alert, something in you wants to hear and come to the end of the story. So, in whatever capacity, even in a professional setting, stories always work. Of course, the stories have to be appropriate for the moment, and they have to, be contained, but you can use stories, verse and illustrations to tell the story and to bring it across. That always works well. There's something that they call the whole windshield method in speaking. So you give a point and you give an illustration, give a point, give an illustration, or a story. Basically, give a point, give an illustration. It always works well to kind of reinforce what you said, to bring it alive, to make it three-dimensional. And that is the joy of speaking honestly. So don't forget, if you want to make your speech now, there are many other ways that we go into in the course, but I just wanted to give two today. First thing, if you want to become a memorable speaker, is put emotion into it. Put emotion into it. And I'm not just talking about screaming or using wild hand gestures. No, none of that. If you believe what you're saying, if you have that point of view that is all your own, that you have thought about, and you believe with everything that you have, the way that you express it will bring that across. That's what we talk about, speaking with conviction, putting emotion into it. And secondly, use stories, use illustrations to bring your point across, to make it alive. It helps to reinforce your point. It provides variety and excitement to your speech or your presentation. See, speaking is not just like getting up and just like hum hoing. Nobody wants that. I hate boring. I hope you do too. But it really is about taking the time to realize that this speaking ability and responsibility and right is something that you have to learn to do, take the time to think about, and then you can give people the gift of yourself. So I hope you go out and you speak with conviction today, and also that you use illustrations and stories to bring that message across and to make it come alive for the people who are listening to you. Thank you so much for listening. I am Lisa Dublin. Let me just show you a little bit. My program, Speak with Confidence, it begins on the 2nd of June. That is Thursday. Okay, I have like not many spots left. We only take maximum 10 people and we are almost there. If you are interested, please reach out and let's see if we can make some space for you. And it runs for 6 weeks. The next time that I run this will be later in the year, and it might be in a different format. So you might want to jump in right now. So hit me up, send me a DM or something to let me know you're interested in this program. And don't forget, even if you're not, go out today. Go out today and speak with confidence, okay? Speak with conviction. Use your illustrations to make it come alive. Thank you for listening. I'm Lisa Dublin. See you next time.